Hello people, welcome one and all to another episode of the F1 2022 My Team series here on the channel. Trust me today when I say this is the best race you will ever see in your entire life. You can probably tell by the title already. This one is absolutely crazy. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and hit like on this video if you do enjoy it. To see more content on the channel, make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see the rest of the season so far, see where we're up to, how we've gone so far in the season. Currently looking at the vehicle comparison chart, we are dead last in that chart, right at the bottom, even below Williams. We have the worst car on the grid, which is not what we like to hear, but getting into Canada, one of my favourite circuits on the calendar. Last race in Baku, we spent our last ICE engine component. Gonna have to get a new one today, which means grid penalty. Currently sat dead last in the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships, of course, because we have no points, tied with those other stinkers over at Williams, who also have no points. But hopefully we can try and get points soon. You know, it's a long time coming. Last game, we got our first podium here in Canada in the My Team series. So maybe, I'm not expecting a podium today, but maybe this can be our lucky track. You know, I seem to be very quick around Canada compared to some other circuits on the calendar. But getting into qualifying, as you can see, just going across to that vehicle engine part, whatever you want to call this, and we are going to take that new ICE engine, internal combustion engine it's called, the main component that gives the engine power. Obviously there's been that glitch the last few races where we've had really bad wear on the ICE, haven't even been able to get through most of the races this season. 5-place grid penalty there for taking that new component, and we are just going to skip through qualifying. I don't show me laps or anything like that. Invalidated the first two. This is the third lap in the session. You can see we're improving massively in the Delta, but I just skipped this qualifying session because I wanted to make sure we pack everything into the race in this one episode without keep making it too long. But trust me, it's a longer episode today, but trust me, the race is worth it. Stay tuned till the end of this one because it's absolutely crazy. Get a nice slipstream from Fernando Alonso into the final chicane there, hitting at DRS points, 1.3 seconds up in the Delta. Going to be 1.4 by the time we cross the line. Only good enough for P18. It's still a good result. P18 is the highest we've been in qualifying for a long time if we can stay there, and we go for another push lap and spin out. So that's going to be the end of our qualifying session there with only 17 seconds left in it. And yeah, that is going to be the end of our qualifying session in P18. If we can stick there, we will still be dead last according to the grid penalty, because obviously it's 5-place penalty. Let's check that out. Charles Leclerc, fastest man in the session. Shock horror, Charles Leclerc top of the leaderboard there. And let's see, our teammate Piastri down in P21. Not very good showing from him. We do finish P18, but that still means we're going to be dead last with the grid penalty, providing nobody else takes a penalty, I guess. Let's find out as we get to the race.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to the variant of this track back in 1978, and it was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles per hour here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially the infamous Wall of Champions, and watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and that final chicane. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Sergio Perez, and Russell, Norris, Bottas, Mick Schumacher, and Kevin Magnussen, Ricciardo, Ocon, Yuki Tsunoda, and Joe, Gasly, Vettel, Fernando Alonso, and Lance Stroll, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Latifi, and the owner-driver. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And joining me again for the race today, Natalie Pinkham. Let's start with the new Alfa Romeo driver. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within the team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do. And that has definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
There we have it then. We are going to be P22, last place on the grid, getting into this race, all to play for and nothing to lose. Looking at the strategy, I'm eyeing up that 2-stop, starting on the soft tyres, trying to get a good start. You've seen this season our starts have been really poor off the line, really struggled for grip. So if we go with the softer compounded tyre, more grip, off the line, we do go with the 2-stop. Let's see, can we have a good start compared to the other races? Try and get that jump on the cars around us. Lights out and away we go. Latifi off to a good start. Our teammate Piastri off to a slow start though. We're looking up that inside into turn 1. Have to avoid Latifi there. Into turn 1. There's the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll pushing us off the track as we go around the outside of Pierre Gasly. Yellow flag, safety car deployed. A lot of cars stopped on track there. That's Valtteri Bottas off to the side. Lap 1. There is going to be a safety car in this race in Canada. Absolute chaos. Down into turn 1 there. Let's see what happened. Off the line, the 2 Ferraris get off well, as does Max Verstappen in P3. You can see us there getting the drop on our teammate Piastri and down into turn 1. Let's see what happens. There's someone's front wing flying across the track there. Someone has lost the front wing. We'll have to see who that was. And everyone just slows down and comes to a stop as we go around the outside. Let's see. This is going to be Valtteri Bottas and Mick Schumacher. And there goes Mick Schumacher into the front of that Alfa Romeo of Bottas, taking off his front wing. And Bottas, instead of trying to make it back to the pits and get a new front wing, he pulls over to the side, and that's going to be the end of Valtteri Bottas' race. I wonder if he picked up a puncture from that debris from the front wing or what. I don't know why he would just stop and not try and make it back to the pits, especially with a safety car. But we actually have 2 illegal overtakes there after the safety car came out, so we have to literally stop on track to let these cars overtake us. Almost get a penalty there, because cars, for some reason, on this game don't seem to want to overtake. And we've got 2 track limit warnings right there on lap 1. That is going to be very, very detrimental to our race. If we get another track limit penalty or warning, it's a 5-second penalty. So we don't want to see that happening. But currently sat in P15. Somebody came into the pits behind the safety car. Currently sat in P15. What a start that is. After 1 lap, we went from P22 up into P15. And as it stands, we're currently sat behind the Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel on medium tyres. We've got those soft tyres. Still early days in the race. Hopefully we can have the drop on Sebastian as we prepare to go racing again. Alonso in front of Sebastian there, also on soft tyres. Can we try and get past Vettel and catch the Alpine driver? Let's find out. Vettel seems to get a good run out of that final chicane into turn 1, and it's green flags. We're going racing again. Vettel round the outside we go of Sebastian Vettel. Can we find some grip on the outside of the circuit there? No, we cannot. Traction seems to be much better on the inside there as we try and chase down this Aston Martin driver, the 3rd worst car on the grid. Or there's another track limit penalty. It'll be 1 more. I got mixed up there. 1 more, and we do have a penalty. But up the inside of Sebastian Vettel there, completely outbraking ourselves. Are we going to make that overtake stick? Vettel comes back at us. Sebastian Vettel in that Aston Martin, fighting for that place. He's not going to let up easily. Obviously, Sebastian Vettel, world champion. He's an experienced driver covering the inside there, so we can't send one up the inside of him. But a little bit of contact, I think, with the back of his car through the chicane there. And as we head into the hairpin now, Sebastian's going to defend hard again, but we go up the inside, almost into the back of Alonso, completely outbraking ourselves again. And Vettel going to stay ahead there. There's 3 wide. Behind us, Latifi, Piastri and Stroll going 3 wide through the hairpin. We seem to get a good run on this softer compounded tyre down the main straight now in this Canadian circuit, using a lot of our battery to try and get past Vettel by the end of it, and we managed to. We get past Sebastian Vettel at the end of the straight there, even without DRS. Obviously no DRS until 2 laps after the safety car. Now we are chasing down the Alpine driver of Fernando Alonso, who was right on the gearbox of the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda. On those softer compounded tyres, the softs looking much better than the mediums in this early stint in this race here. But we do get with him DRS of Fernando Alonso a few laps later when it does get activated. So we are going to stick with Alonso and getting towards the hairpin now. Can we try and get within that range again? You see, we've pretty much used all of our battery charge to try and catch Alonso into that DRS zone. And we're not going to do it, unfortunately, coming through the hairpin now, using the curve for extra rotation there. Vettel behind will have DRS, and we don't have any battery to defend. We used it all trying to catch up to Fernando Alonso. Obviously, you've seen previous races this season. Once the cars in front get DRS, it's so hard to keep up with them if you don't have it as well. So I used all of our battery to try and catch Alonso. But anyway, Alonso into the pits now on those soft tyres. He's come in for an early pit stop, looking at 2-stop strategy. Zhou Guan Yu with a 5-second penalty in front of us in P11. So as it stands, we're currently net P12. but without any pit stops. If you just think about it, with that 5-second penalty applied, we will be in front of Zhou Guanyu. Zhou Guanyu, a man we're looking to try and get revenge on after last week in Baku. If you did not see that race, go and check that one out. After this one, Vettel making that pass into the chicane there with that DRS. It was way too easy for him with no battery to defend. Vettel makes an overtake and we're down into P14. P14 still a great position to be in though after starting P22 on the grid. Great damage limitation with that engine penalty. You love to see it. What a crazy start. That Bottas collision and Mick Schumacher just absolutely made our race, and we got off to such a good start. But chasing down now Sebastian Vettel. Can we get past this guy? We switched to a one-stop strategy. I don't know if you've seen that earlier. We did decide to swap to the one-stop strategy, which is going to be soft hard. So we're trying to push these soft tyres a lot longer than any other driver you see, our mechanic or engineer telling us there. We're going to start losing some tyre grip at this point because these soft tyres can't go this long, but we're pushing them this long anyway to try and make the one-stop work on the softs. You saw already Fernando Alonso come into the pits. He's had to change his soft tyres, not good enough for him. But down into the braking zone for the hairpin now, getting good rotation through the hairpin there, getting on the throttle as early as possible, 30% in our battery to try and use and attack Sebastian Vettel here as we open that DRS wing in the rear flap, or the DRS flap in the rear wing of our car. But it's not going to be enough to catch Sebastian by the end of the straight. He must have been using a lot of his battery deployment there to defend as well, because we only made up 2/10 on that back straight there to Sebastian Vettel. Coming into the pits now on lap 10 to start lap 11. We are going to be going onto the hard tyres, like I do say, brand new fresh hard tyres. We get an optimal turn in there, and the estimated stop is 2.2 to 2.5 seconds. We of course upgraded our pit stop crew before this race. That used to say 2.2 to 2.7 if you got optimal, so it saved us 2 tenths. Yeah, I guess 2 tenths it saved us with that upgrade there. So that is very nice to see. We come out of the pits now with fresh hard tyres in P20 with only 21 cars in this race. Daniel Ricciardo in the pits. See us weaving a bit on the straight there to try and get some heat into these hard tyres. Not my friend, these hard tyres this season. So hard to get the temperature into them. That outlap after you change onto them is so difficult. There's just no grip whatsoever until you get some heat into these tyres, and it's so hard to warm them up, being the hardest compounded tyre. But currently sat by ourselves really. Alonso 7.9 seconds ahead on medium tyres, but of course he's going for that two-stop strategy. A virtual safety car has been deployed and Nicholas Latifi is out of the session. This is Alex Albon in the other Williams car coming through the final chicane now. Let's see what he sees, and there's Latifi spinning off. Latifi into the wall there, it looks like. And Latifi, I wonder if he could get that car going. There's only a virtual safety car coming through. The wall of champions on the right there, and it's going to take his wheel off. His rear right wheel is gone. Nicholas Latifi cannot get that car going, and surely that's got to be a full safety car, not just a virtual. Here's our teammate, Oscar Piastri. He was running behind Nicholas Latifi, lucky to not get included in that collision. Maybe he did. Let's see if he takes any damage or contact with Latifi coming through that final turn now in the chicane. No, he manages to avoid any contact with Latifi. Lucky he didn't bounce back into the road. But Latifi, what a stinker. How is this guy in F1 still? He's out of this race, and the full safety car is deployed, like I do say. So that was a good prediction by me, full safety car coming out, but we pit a lap before this, so we've already had our pit stop, and now a safety car's coming out, which means everyone else is going to try and pit now. Can we catch up to the safety car queue, see who's going to pit? Our teammates into the pits there, trying to stay within the delta, but push as hard as we can still. Let's see who are we going to overtake in this pit stop. Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly also into the pits. This is reminding me of Pierre Gasly in Monza. He pits right before a safety car and a red flag in that race, if you do remember that. Last year or the year before, whenever that was. I think it was the year before last, actually. And coming through now, Vettel, Tsunoda also in the pits. Tsunoda going to come out ahead. Vettel is going to come out ahead. But Zhou Guanyu going to come out behind. Oscar Piastri behind. We're up into P14 again. So we're pretty much back to where we started before the safety car. And now we can just go to the end of the race. A lot of these cars might take another pit stop. A lot of people coming out on the hards though. So it looks likely that this is going to be it now until the end of the race. Preparing to go racing yet again and we've lost another driver from this race. Another DNF. Vettel kicking up some dust and some dirt on the exit there of that chicane. Not a good exit from him. Up the inside we go into turn 1. Can we make this stick? Almost contact there round the outside of Sebastian Vettel. We've tried this once before. No traction, no grip on that outside of turn 2. But Sebastian, we're going to set him up, push him to the outside so we can go to the inside into the downhill zone. Are we going to come out ahead? Yes, we are. What an overtake that is. You will not see overtakes get done there much on this Canadian circuit, but we've managed to make one stick. Completely set Sebastian up to cover the outside so we could just throw our car up the inside into the downhill zone there. And a great overtake to put us up into P13. What a race this has been so far for us, and we've still got 20 laps to go here in Canada. We're up from P22 into P13. This is looking like a driver of the day performance as long as we can finish this race in one piece. Now into the braking zone for the hairpin. Tsunoda 1.7 ahead. He's lost a lot of time there. Had to brake early because of that train in front of him. Kevin Magnussen, the back of that train in the Haas. The other Haas car in trouble this race for crashing with Valtteri Bottas on lap 1. Trying to catch Tsunoda. Obviously no DRS down this back straight yet because it doesn't get activated until 2 laps after the safety car. So 1.2 seconds behind Tsunoda. Like I say, if the cars in front get DRS, it's so hard to catch them. So can we catch Tsunoda? Try and get his DRS and get involved in a DRS train here just to pull us along this race and not get left behind. Sebastian Vettel still sticking with us behind, so he's going to have DRS when it does get opened if he can stick with us and we can't put those times in. But trying to catch Yuki Tsunoda, there's only 2 tenths to go. Can we make up 2 tenths on this AlphaTauri? Not a great car, the AlphaTauri car, and Yuki Tsunoda not a very fast driver in this game. So would not be surprised if we can make up this gap. Actually I would, because our car is like, it absolutely stinks. Our car stinks. It's dead last in the vehicle tree, and it just feels like an absolute tractor. And as you can see, not really putting in those times to Tsunoda, using a lot of battery there that we did save up behind the safety car to try and catch him into that hairpin again. Yuki going slow through the hairpin. He's had to go on the brakes early again because of Magnussen in front, and coming out of the hairpin now, the gap went from 1.2 to 6.5 tenths. So we've made up 6 tenths nearly on that one corner, thanks to Yuki Tsunoda going slow through it. And into the chicane now, he's getting a good slipstream from Kevin Magnussen. Hopefully we can get closer and feel the effects of his slipstream. Slipstreams I don't really feel the effect of on this game on F1 2022. Don't know if it's the new cars, the new profile. And there we have DRS enabled though on lap 17, and we are within the range to Yuki Tsunoda, the car in front. We will have DRS for this lap on Tsunoda, is what we love to see.
There appears to be an issue. We're currently investigating.
Now that is not what we love to see. Lap 19, still trying to stick with Tsunoda, sticking in his DRS. Tsunoda will not have DRS to Kevin Magnussen in front though. But our engineer just told us there's an issue. That is not what we like to hear. That normally means you have to retire. Please do not let us retire from this race. We're running great.
Okay, it's not good news, I'm afraid. Seems like an engine issue.
And boys, we have an engine issue. If you look in the bottom right, our fuel mix is stuck on lean. Normally that's on standard. Fuel mix lean means you're not using as much fuel. Lower revs, lower speed, loss of power in the engine. You can see that loss of power down this straight now. As you see how far ahead Yuki Tsunoda gets and how much Sebastian Vettel's managed to gain on us coming out of that chicane there and down into the hairpin. Now Vettel is going to make a move even before we get to the DRS zone and the hairpin. We have to go off the track to brake there because Sebastian was going to cause a collision with us. Not what we like to see from the old school driver, the man who got me into Formula 1. Sebastian Vettel pushing us off the track there. And look at this loss of power. Vettel flying down the straight, even though he does have DRS, and Zhou Guanyu behind us gonna have DRS too, but still, look at the loss of power. We just can't compete, and if it sticks like this, this might be the end of our race. We're just gonna get overtaken by absolutely everyone.
Good news, it looks like the fault's been fixed. Let's go.
And the fault has been fixed. We're back to standard. This is what you love to see. I thought we were going to have to retire there. I thought that was it. When he said there's engine issues, I was like, oh no, the ICE is going to blow up on us, or an engine component is going to blow up, but then we have to retire. Then I realized it was a technical issue rather than mechanical, so it was only the fuel mix, and then it got fixed. So I was like, come on, we're still in this race. We are still within 4 tenths of Zhou Guanyu. They didn't manage to get ahead of us that much. We lost 2 places due to that issue, which is unfortunate because we were catching Yuki Tsunoda in P12. It could have been a great result if we got P12 there. But we still have DRS on Zhou. Not much battery to try and attack here. But are we going to be in a DRS train with Sebastian Vettel and Zhou Guanyu. Oscar Piastri, our teammate behind, also within DRS. And so is Daniel Ricciardo to our teammate. Daniel Ricciardo down in P17. He's had a stinker of a season in the McLaren, showing how realistic this F1 2022 game is. But opening that DRS wing now in the slipstream of Zhou Guanyu, using all of our battery. Are we going to be close enough into the chicane at the end of the straight to make it past? The answer is no, but we are right on his gearbox. Hopefully we can stick with him. Lap 21 now, coming through turn 2, up the hill. Still sticking with Zhou as we go down the hill. Can we try and find an opening? Try and get past the Alfa Romeo driver here. His teammate out of the race. Like I say, we want that payback for Baku. Last race, he did spin us out in Baku and then crash into us after he spun us out, which was not nice to see. And up the inside, we're looking for it. We pull out up the inside of Zhou Guanyu. A very high-speed overtake there. And it's a great move to make that move stick. Coming through the inside of Zhou Guanyu there. That is an absolutely fantastic overtake. I was absolutely made up with that one, and watching that one stick was so fun to see. Zhou has to back out to avoid a collision there, and now we can push again to try and get to Sebastian Vettel. Again, we've already taken this guy once in this race. Can we take him again? We're going to have DRS down the back straight to Vettel, I believe. Yes, we are. Hopefully we can make this move stick, or try and make a move. We saw last time we were 8 tenths behind Vettel and opened the DRS wing. We only managed to get to 6 tenths behind by the end of the straight, and the same thing again. Not going to be able to make the move on that straight, using all of our battery charge on this lap, lap 26. We have 2% battery left. That is not enough to defend or overtake at all. But coming through the chicane there, we have a great exit, and there's something behind us. There's going to be a yellow flag. Someone's came off the track behind us, the same area that Nicholas Latifi went off. It's going to be Zhou Guanyu in the Alfa Romeo. You can see him, me and Vettel going through there, and the exact same thing that Latifi did into the wall goes Zhou Guanyu. Is that going to be another safety car? The answer is no. He did not lose his tyre. He took most of the damage into that rear wing rather than the rear tyres. So he did not lose his tyre there, but just spun out. Zhou, that is karma for spinning us out in Baku. You absolutely deserve that, you stinker. Now, Piastri, our teammate, 2.4 behind. The race is not behind us. We don't care about that. The race is in front of us. Vettel, we're going to be a lot closer this time. And look how much battery we had saved up there, 25%. I decided to use my brain for once in this race. After 6 laps of pushing, I decided 1 lap, let's just try and charge the battery up and then try and attack the lap after. And that's exactly what we've done. Into the chicane, round the outside of Sebastian Vettel. We will make that move stick. A great overtake again, going too wide through the final chicane. Getting DRS, and we can push ahead now of Sebastian Vettel up into P12. What a race this has been. We've gained 10 positions from our starting grid spot. We had a mechanical, technical issue with the engine and the fuel mix, and we've still managed to fight back and get up into P12. I was in the zone this race. You don't want to mess with me when it comes to this Canadian circuit. Up into P12. What a race this has been so far. There we go. There's a little replay of that overtake on Sebastian Vettel. And yeah, like I say, for the first time this race, using my brain, 1 lap, I just decided not to use the battery at all. So then we'd have a lot of charge left for the next lap to attack Vettel. And that's exactly what we did. I don't know why it took me so long to think of that. But with 5 laps left here, you can see the tyres slowly going off there. A lot of understeer coming through turn 2. Vettel is not going to give up that easy. He's an experienced champion, is Sebastian Vettel. 2 tenths behind. The gap to Tsunoda now, 2.8 ahead. Looks unlikely that we are going to catch the AlphaTauri driver by the end of this race, with our tyres struggling too, with only 5 laps left. But coming home in P12 would be a great result for the team. Best result so far in the history of our team, with Piastri, our teammate, only running 2 places behind. We've got to defend there, as you can see, parking a car in the middle of the track to avoid an overtake from Sebastian Vettel. There's caution, caution. You saw the green flag flashing. The green flag is still flashing as Vettel makes his overtake into the hairpin. We're going to stick it up the inside, not let him get that overtake back. And as we come through the hairpin, the green is now flashing yellow. Yellow flag, someone is off the track. Yellow flags mean you can't overtake, so Vettel is going to have to drop back a bit. We go green again though. We're racing. Another yellow flag behind us. Something's happened back there at the back of that circuit. Oscar Piastri out of the race. Sebastian Vettel also out of the session. What has happened there? It was Mick Schumacher who went off initially, and there's a huge collision between Sebastian Vettel and our teammate Oscar Piastri. Vettel's engine has gone. You see it blow smoke in the face of Piastri there. It might have unsighted him, and Piastri, that's a lot of debris on the track. Piastri out of the race, and Piastri collects another car. There's someone else at the back. It's going to be Fernando Alonso in the Alpine, also out of this race. What a collision that was. What a crazy moment. Mick Schumacher went out of this race with an engine failure, pulled off to the side of the road, caused the yellow flag. That allowed us to get past Sebastian Vettel without him overtaking us. Then Vettel, his engine blew up. Oscar Piastri into the back of Vettel and Fernando Alonso into the back of Piastri. And it's going to be another safety car, the third safety car in this race. And that's like 4 DNFs in one lap. Absolutely crazy stuff. But now, boys, look where we are. The safety car coming in this lap. We're currently in P11 with Mick Schumacher out of the race. We've gained a place. Yuki Tsunoda, the car in front, we saw earlier on in that earlier stint, we were actually faster on race pace than Tsunoda. Tsunoda in P10. You know what P10 is? P10 is points. P10 is points. Are we going to have our first points finish of the season? I don't even care if it's not even points, because it's not points plural, it's points singular. The 1 point of P10. That is all we are playing for right now. Can we have this? Here we go. We're going racing again. We get a good launch out of the final chicane there. It's green. We're going green again as we cross. And we're going forward up the inside of Yuki Tsunoda into turn 1. Can we make that stick? Round the outside for turn 2. There's almost contact with our rear tyre there. That almost spun us out. But we are ahead of Yuki Tsunoda up into P10 in this race here in Canada. We're into the points. I can't believe it. We're up from P22 on the grid to start this race up into the points in P10. What a drive this has been. What a race this has been with 2 laps left in Canada. Are we going to come home with our first points of the season? Who knows? Can we catch Kevin Magnussen, turn that point into points plural? We get a nice camera angle off the back of our car there. See Yuki gaining on us from behind. We're coming out of that chicane there. He drops back a little. And it looks like we're going to have a lot more speed than Tsunoda. There goes Daniel Ricciardo. He pulls out to the back of Yuki Tsunoda into the hairpin. They're going to go too wide. Tsunoda with the inside line. Ricciardo going on the outside. They're going to be too wide coming through the hairpin. And down the straight now. No DRS because of the safety car. They're going to go straight line speed. Who's going to have more straight line speed? The Red Bull powered AlphaTauri or the Mercedes powered McLaren? Too wide still. Down into the chicane. Who's going to come ahead? It's Ricciardo ahead into the chicane. But Yuki Tsunoda. Through goes Tsunoda. A lot more traction on the outside there. And Tsunoda makes a move on Daniel Ricciardo up into P11. But those two fighting there is going to cost them so much time. And as we get back to ourselves, you can see the gap to Tsunoda. 2.3 seconds behind. So now there's no threat from behind on this final lap of the race. Kevin Magnussen in the Haas in front. 7 tenths ahead. Coming through the downhill section. This is absolutely crazy. Can we try and take Kevin Magnussen? You see us here saving up that battery we learned from that battle with Sebastian, and that's great. That's the great part about this game, battling against the great experienced drivers. You learn as you're driving. I learned that move to save the battery on one lap and then push the next lap. And here we're saving our battery to try and push on the back straight. But Kevin, a lot faster in that Haas car, a lot faster just in general, that Haas car. Never mind Kevin behind the wheel. And into the hairpin. We're going to have 30% battery to try and push down the straight. We're going to use it all. This is it, the final lap of the race. We've got nothing to lose here. Well, we actually do. We have 1 point to lose, but we've got it all to play for still. 8 tenths ahead, no DRS, and yeah, we're going to run out of battery before we can even make it to the back of Kevin's car. But can we keep it neat and tidy through the chicane? Charles Leclerc crosses the line to take the fastest lap on the final lap of the race, and we are going to cross the line to take our first points of the season in P10. What a crazy race that was. Didn't I tell you this was going to be an absolutely fantastic race, and I told you to stick to the end because it was going to be worth it? Didn't I tell you this race? And driver of the day, didn't I tell you this race was going to be worth it? Yeah, didn't I tell you it was going to be worth it? Driver of the day. What a moment that is. What a moment that is. Up from P22 into P10. Is that not the greatest drive you've ever seen in my team history? Like, is that not the greatest race you've ever seen in my team history? 3 safety cars, 6 DNFs. We had a technical issue with the fuel mix. It looked like all hope was lost. We lost 2 places due to that fuel mix forward and got those positions back. And then to finish P10. This race was honestly the best race I've done in my team. I've played my team now for 3 years, and this was the best one, the best race. I've won a lot of races. I won the championship last year on F1 2021. But this P10, the first point in this stinker of a car, in this absolute tractor of a car, in this absolute lawnmower of a car, Let me think of some other things. In this absolute bike with one wheel of a car, yeah, or bike with no chain. That's what this car feels like. You're hitting the pedal but going nowhere. Yeah, what a race. What a race. Didn't I tell you it was going to be good? But we got our first point. Sadly, our teammate, it was going to be a great team finish as well, but our teammate went into the back of Sebastian Vettel. All that fight with Vettel just for him to DNF the race anyway. Like, could he not just DNF'd on lap 1 and got out the way for us? But anyway, look at that. P10, 1 point. That means we're not dead last anymore in the standings. Those stinkers down at Williams are dead last. Have that, Williams. Yeah. Oh, they've had a stinker this season as well, Williams. You saw last time in Baku. Latifi. That's 2 DNFs in a row for Latifi. This game is so realistic. This guy stinks. But Valtteri Bottas, Latifi, Schumacher, Piastri, Alonso, Vettel, all DNF in the race. There was only 16 cars left as we crossed the line here in Canada. This is absolutely crazy, and what a fun race. Hopefully it was entertaining for you to watch, because like I say, yeah, very, very fun race. We definitely had a lot of pace around this circuit, and look at that in the constructors. Those stinkers down at Williams are dead last. Have that. Here's where we get the next race and Latifi wins, or something gets 25 points. But let's find out in the next race. Don't even know where we're racing next because I've not even recorded it yet. But look at that. We move up as well into P18. The 2 stinkers at Aston Martin on 2 points ahead of us. We need 1 more point to get level with those 2. But let's check the incidents. Look, Valtteri Bottas collision with Schumacher, warning. Schumacher collision with Bottas, warning. Daniel Ricciardo had a collision with Magnussen on lap 1, which we missed. And Yuki Tsunoda also a collision with Ocon. Zhou Guanyu, of course, had a 5-second time penalty, and that was for ignoring yellow flags on lap 1. And yeah, just look at all those DNFs and mechanical failures and terminal damage. Like, wow, this race was crazy. This race was absolutely crazy. Such a good drive from me, in my opinion, to toot my own horn. But Charles Leclerc picking up another race win and the fastest lap of the race, 26 points for him. He's absolutely flying in this championship, and because of that engine issue that we had with the fuel mix, you can see we've got actually some resource points because of that issue. So they gave us 400 points because of the issue, and it says that it's an issue with the chassis. If we upgrade our chassis, it'll prevent it happening again. I don't understand how that works, how a fuel mix issue is related to the chassis. I don't get that. But as well, let's all celebrate, because look at this, our ICE, the brand new ICE that we put in that race, 9% wear at the end of the race. They have fixed the glitch. EA and Codemasters listened to our shouts, and they have fixed the ICE glitch by the looks of things. We're going to pick up an upgrade here for the energy recovery system. It means every time we brake, we will get more energy back into that battery, which we can use to go ahead and attack. The weight redistribution there as well. We were looking for that upgrade, but we don't have enough points for it. But we're going to stick with that upgrade. We won't get that until after the British Grand Prix. That is next. Side profile upgrade, drag reduction upgrade comes through there before the British Grand Prix. Hopefully give us more speed on the straights there. What we love to see. But what a race. We've got to pick a new rival, Pierre Gasly or Lando Norris. We're not racing either of these guys, so I decided to say neither of them. Yeah. But next up is the British Grand Prix. Notoriously not very quick around here. If you saw last year's My Team Series, not very quick around Silverstone. I know my way around it, but I'm not very quick when it comes to actually putting a lap together. And with this stinker of a car, yeah, it's not looking good on paper for this race, let's just say that. And if it rains, it's really not looking good on paper, but hopefully it doesn't rain. The last few British Grand Prix in real life have been really sunny. That is going to be it though. I will see you next time, people. If you did enjoy this video and you stuck to the end, I appreciate it, and hopefully you did enjoy this race, because absolutely, like, I don't even know how we're going to top this now. We may as well end the whole career mode here, because that race was ridiculous. But I will see you next time in Britain. Like, comment, share and subscribe. You know the vibes. I will see you next time. Take it easy.